Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
One of the commonly asked questions we get from non-farmers is they'll hear some farmers talking about flex ear and fixed ear. What's the difference between those two?
Well, there are a lot of things that go into corn planting decisions, and you may be considering on a farm planting variable populations. In one field you may plant 30,000 plants per acre, in another you may plant 25,000 per acre. The other thing that farmers will consider is the ability of that hybrid to adjust to planting population or to be able to adjust to what kind of growing conditions you get for the year. For example, let's say you have ideal growing conditions all through the season versus a year where you just don't get enough rain. Corn hybrids can actually adjust a little bit, and what the ears of corn will do is they'll flex a little bit in some cases. Certain hybrids have the ability either to flex for length and get a longer ear, or flex for girth and get more kernels around the ear based on the conditions that are present that season.
Okay, and a fixed ear is just going to be the same thing regardless of the weather conditions. So in the past, a lot of people have said, well, I should always be planting a flex ear then, just in case, right?
Well, it depends. You certainly want to pick a hybrid based on which one's going to perform the best in your field. But then you'll kind of adjust the population based on whether that hybrid has the ability to flex a little bit or not. So for farmers in the central corn belt where conditions are typically a little more predictable, they're going to get some rain at least. They may have a little richer soils. That might not be as big of a thing for them, but farmers on the fringes, like where we farm in the western corn belt, you don't have to go very much further than where we're farming and things get awfully dry. We're already half or maybe a third of the rain of the central corn belt, but you go even a little bit further west and you get half of what we're getting for rain. So farmers in our neck of the woods really like hybrids that, hey, if we do actually get some rain, they can make a little bit bigger ear to take advantage of that. Now when we're planting fixed ear hybrids, typically we like to plant those at very high populations. So if you have an ear that's always going to be 14 kernels around or 16 kernels around and always 40 kernels long, well, you know you've got to have lots of population out there if you want to get higher yields.
Yeah, but I do think this is a little bit overrated today because the plant breeders, what they're really after is top yield, number one, but also defensive traits. And so let's say, for example, you're raising continuous corn and you find something that's good on gray leaf spot, good on Goss's wilt, it's been a high yielder, but oh, it's just a fixed ear. I don't worry about that much.
Well, I don't either. I would just plant a little higher population and run with that hybrid. Like I say, the first choice that farmers are going to make is which hybrid is going to perform the best for me, then under what conditions should I plant that hybrid so I can get the most success.
But see, the other reason why I think this is a little overrated now is because now we have variable rate planters. So literally I can change my planting population from 35,000 down to 22,000 if I get into a lighter area of the field. In other words, a sandier area of the field, an area that doesn't have as much yield potential. So I think because of that variable variety planting, because of the genetics that we've got nowadays, the breeding methods we have, I don't think this is as big an issue as it used to be many years ago.
Well, it certainly isn't as big an issue, but one thing that is always going to be an issue is controlling weeds like our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?